Hi, I'm Dave, and this is Quick Picks, a channel dedicated to helping you take quality corporate photography using just your smartphone. Yes, friends, they can do that now. It's nuts. Anywho, this is the fifth and final video in a series of 5 videos that I've done getting you set up so that you can really start nailing it with your product photography with just your smartphone. The first video, I talked a little bit about me and why I'm doing this. In the second video, I showed you how to set up your smartphone so that it could take these really detailed photos. In the third video, I showed you how to use a light box so you can get those big time infinite white photos that are so key on sites like Amazon and sometimes Etsy and even your own product database for your company. And then in the fourth video, I showed you after shooting that how to mess with all the different settings as far as contrast and saturation and all that stuff on your phone to get the look you really want. And keep that part in mind because that's going to come into play when it comes to this video where I'm going to show you how to take marketing photos using just natural light, so you don't even have to worry about using another light. But we're also going to add something else because I like to show things that you might have on hand to help you take these great photos. We're going to use some poster board to act as a reflector so that the product isn't totally dark on one side when using the natural light. So let's just go ahead and get to it. So today's lucky product is this pot of wooden flowers. Yes, friends, these flowers are actually made of wood. If I can find the artist's name, I'll be sure and link that in the video description below. It's very cool. But you can see right now that we've got the light coming in from this side. It's just a big window on the left. And then we've also got all kinds of shadow being cast over here because of that light. But we've got our poster board and we want to show this side a little clearer. So all we have to do is stand up the poster board, get it closer, and you can see that it's starting to show off a little more light on that side. It's just bouncing the light right off of the window onto the object, which is very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture in the portrait settings, the same settings we've been using since I started doing this series, and then I'm going to show you how to mess a little bit with the blur in the photo, and after that, I'm going to show you how to take a really cool marketing photo so it's not just this object sitting here on its own. So, I'm going to take that picture, and then you'll see me playing on the phone. So here's the picture. Zooming in, checking it out, making sure it looks all right. Looks pretty good. Looks like we've got some good clarity, but we're going to edit this bad boy. Just going to crop a little tiny bit here. A little bit off the bottom, shave some off the top, slight adjustments, there we go, we're looking okay. You know, it is cool though to sometimes keep the image off center, so I'm going to do that. Now we're checking it out. Now, one of the things that I haven't talked about yet is the aperture, or what's going to be the f-stop on this whole thing. So what you're going to do is hit that little box in the bottom left, and you see the f2.8 at the top. Now, the lower the number, the blurrier the background, the higher the number, the cleaner or less blurry the background is. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually push the f2.8 button, and now we're just going to drag it a little bit. We're at 2.8. We're seeing that it's clear. We want to make sure the background's blurry, but we also want to make sure we see the product without blurring it too much. So we're really careful about how we line this up to try and make sure that it looks just right. And I think we're pretty good right about, yeah, that's looking good right there at f3.5. So we got her. Now in the next part, I'm going to show you going outside. I'm going to pick up some stuff so that we can give this a little more atmosphere for a slightly fancier marketing photo. Good times. So here we go. I'm lucky. It's a fall day in the Midwest, and I want to use some sticks and some nice colorful leaves on that photo to make it just a little extra nice, a little more poppy. So I'm going to be out here. I'm going to gather some leaves. And then I've already got some stuff gathered to put around that pot with the flowers inside. So going to grab some stuff out here. Good times. And then I'll take them back in and set them up and show you how to shoot from there. Whew! Okay, time to pick up leaves and sticks. So what do you think? Is this the perfect setup? Yeah, I'm not thinking so either. Basically what I did was I just gathered a bunch of stuff, I threw it in front of here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and set up a picture that looks good. Now some things that I think work well, and your mileage might vary, so I'm not telling you what to do, just things that I do that I think end up with better results than if I don't do these, is I make sure that everything's just a little off center. I don't ever want to set up a photo so that it's symmetrical. That always you don't know exactly where to send your eyes there, and what we're obviously trying to look at here is this pot with the wooden flowers in it. So this other stuff adds color, it adds a little bit of the atmosphere, but remember, it's not the focus. So you're basically just setting up some stuff in the foreground, and you're setting up some stuff in the background to try and get a very cool shot of this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and do that really slowly, so that it wastes your time, but I am going to speed up what I'm doing here. One thing to keep in mind when you're setting up a shot like this is to always come back and look through the phone so you can see what you're doing as you're doing it. So now, I'm going to get cracking on this setup. Here we go. Another thing to keep in mind is that you're going to be able to use that f-stop, your aperture, so that you can make sure that the only thing really in focus is the pot, but you still don't want to do anything to try and really draw the focus away. By Jove, I think we've got something. So here's the photo that I snapped after setting everything up. We're going to now go in and play with a lot of the stuff that we learned in the last video as far as all the different settings are concerned. When it comes to a marketing image like this, that's where those things shine. So we're going to check out what auto does. Not really a big fan. Let's play with exposure a bit. Brighten it just a touch. Remember, the big deal here is to make sure that we're showing off the pot with the wooden flowers. Playing with highlights. This is kind of just showing you how to play a little bit as I'm messing with shadows and everything else. That way you'll know. You can just play and see what you get until you're really happy with the result. I kind of like a slightly brighter image for this kind of shot. Touch of black points. Not a whole lot. I don't really want this to lose its saturation and lose its brilliance, so we're going to just make it a little warmer. Play, maybe tint. This is what I do. I just play until I get a look that I like, and tint's not really getting it done. I'm going to skip all this. Vignettes. We don't want to go super hard. I think that's it. I think we're looking pretty good on this one, so that's how you can get your marketing shots. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that when it comes to marketing photos. Now, these photos are great for using as headers in your website, they're great for catalog covers or even being inside catalogs, and they'll work for Amazon, eBay, Etsy, anywhere else you're trying to sell your product, because what the Lightbox photos do is it shows great detail of what the product is, but what these kinds of shots do is it shows them in the context of how they're going to be used. So really a combination of both is really great. Whew, so that's it for this one. That also marks the end of this 5-video series that I created designed to help you get up and running on taking your own photos, your own high quality photos right away, so you can knock that out if you don't have budget for a photographer. This way you know exactly what you're doing, you can start getting stuff up there quickly, but remember that photos on their own aren't going to help you sell your product. Your product needs to crush it, and you have to have great marketing that gets people to your website so they can find the product in the first place. So make sure you're getting your SEO in line, make sure you're getting your social media in line, make sure you're keeping your website up to date, make sure you're messing with SEO on things like Etsy and eBay and all those other platforms, because that's one way that people are really going to find you. But I will say, having images on those listings when people do eventually find them is a whole lot better than trying to describe them in 1,000 words. So as long as people find your stuff, having an image there will help you sell them. And that's the point here. Now, as always, I'll be sure to put some affiliate links for the products you need in the video description below. Affiliate links means that I'll get a cut out of anything you buy, but I think you're going to do a whole lot better and make a whole lot more money based on getting these things and making sure your alignment, your marketing is in alignment with everything else you're doing. Now remember, I can handle helping 20 people out a month when it comes to editing their Lightbox photos. So if you have hundreds or even thousands of photos out there ready to go, or you're going to use these videos and create those photos and you just don't have time to edit them, get a hold of me at dave@quickpics.com and I'll get cracking. Those will be on a first come, first served basis because, well, frankly, again, it's only me. If there were tons of me, well, hey, I could maybe up that, and we'll see what happens in the future to see if that can happen. So, I'm going to get cracking on cleaning up the dining room table because eventually I'll need to eat. And hopefully you guys can all get cracking on taking some perfect product photos for yourselves and make yourselves some money doing that. Because that is really what I want to happen here. So, until next time, and don't worry, there will be a next time, have fun. See ya.